I finally reached a point where I'm confident that what remains in the game now will likely remain in the game forever. And in fact, I think you'll be surprised by how exploitable current patch truly is. So, hop in your Honda and let's break Elden Ring. This video is sponsored by Manscaped.com and the new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. With a powerful 7200 RPM motor and titanium-coated T-blade, this electric trimmer can cut through the thickest hair in a single stroke. It only has one guard, but with a zoom wheel that can be adjusted for 20 different hair lengths, whether you go for a Margit 5 o'clock shadow or a full-on mane like Suresh, it will be the last guard you ever need. It's wireless, rechargeable, gets up to an hour of runtime on a single charge, comes with a grab-and-go travel case, and oh yeah, it's waterproof. So this means you have no excuse for growing an untrimmed neck beard like Leroy Jenkins. This is a video on Elden Ring, not World of Warcraft. Just look at Miyazaki. Don't you want to be like him? See that little whatever it is right there on his chin? Now that's style. Go to manscaped.com and use promo code PHOBIA at checkout to get a 20% discount and free shipping with your first order. Our goal this time around is pretty cut and dry. Defeat the final boss, become Elden Lord. So any glitches that would expedite that process are fair game. To start off, we pick the Confessor as our starting class because it looks the coolest and literally no other reason, and defeat the Grafted Scion just to show it who's boss. The Scion drops the Ornamental Straight Sword, which is actually two swords that... Oh. God, this weapon is terrible. I swear to God, you spend 3 hours making new characters to try to look cool on the internet, and your reward is worse than your starting weapon. You know what? Screw Miyazaki, I'm making Pokemon videos from now on. Once we're in Limgrave, we grab Torrent from Melina, then head up the ravine to Murkwater Cave to take out Bloody Finger Nereus for the Reduvia, a dagger with excellent bleed buildup, which isn't going to become our main weapon, but will come in handy soon. We need to go to Murkwater anyway to meet up with Patches, so first steal his laundry, and then give him a little tickle until he decides he wants to be friends.
I surrender! White Dragonor!
Buy a few picked foul feet, and we're good to leave. You can live, Patches. This time. We actually aren't going into Stormvale ever in this playthrough. Instead, we head east toward the Third Church of America where... Oh, hold on.
Great Kenneth Height! Watch me tarnished! I am...
Okay, right, so as I was saying, we're going east to the Third Church of America to pick up the Physic Flask, and then take the Waygate to Dragon Barrow hidden in the bushes just outside. This teleports us outside the door of the Bestial Sanctum. You can probably guess what we're doing next. Following the path south, we touch the Grace at Len's Rise, and then during the night, head back to the bridge we just crossed in order to fight the Knights Cavalry for runes. Well, fight is a strong word. By leading it around the right side of the bridge and then waiting for its jump attack move, it will fall out of bounds by itself, giving us a clean 42k before rune buffs like the Foulfoot or Golden Scarab that could obviously take it higher. Next, take the Spirit Spring behind Len's Rise to reach the upper cliff of the graveyard to pick up a ton of poppable runes, then continue south of the next Spirit Spring just ahead to reach the Grace at Fort Ferreth. Right next to the Grace is Elder Dragon Grail, a boss that doesn't fight back, but has, well, just a million billion HP. This is what we brought the Reduvia for. I know if you made it to this video, then you've seen this before, but by abusing the bleeding mechanic, we can have Grail lose a percentage of her max HP every time it procs, allowing us to take her out in a fraction of the time it would take by doing pure chip damage at our level. I'm not considering this a glitch, but it is a great source of early runes for a new character. By popping a Golden Foulfoot before we get the last hit, Grail will drop a whopping 97k, meaning that we already have over 130,000 runes to spend on leveling up. I do exactly that to give us these health, magic, and stamina bars, which is all we're going to need for the entire playthrough. With the housekeeping taken care of, we can begin our actual game plan. Our next destination is Liurnia, back to the west. On the way, we stop at the War Master's shack and kill Bernal, the Ash War Merchant, for the Devourer's Scepter he drops. Once again, not a weapon we actually plan to use, but an important tool in our kit for later. We take the path along the side of Stormvale Keep in order to reach Liurnia without fighting Margit or Godric, then head north along the lake to pick up the key to Raya Lucaria, hidden behind the Moonstone Dragon. While we're in the area, we can also make our way into Caria Manor to fight the spirit form of Loretta, though once again, we won't be fighting her in the true sense of the word. Normally, when you quit the game inside of a boss room, you are ejected back outside the entrance when you load back in, and the boss returns to full health. However, by heading to the left side of the arena after we trigger the fight with Loretta, and walking specifically into this corner in the back, we can cheat this system. For some reason, this one specific corner is not flagged as being part of the boss room, so we aren't ejected back outside of the fog gate when we load back in. Loretta is now waiting for us to pass through the fog in order to trigger her AI, and since we're already inside the arena, she simply won't fight back at all, allowing us to defeat her for a few extra runes with no risk whatsoever. I'm genuinely amazed this still isn't patched. Beating Loretta here doesn't actually help us progress in any way, besides a few level ups, but we will be making a callback to this glitch a bit later on in the playthrough, so I wanted to make sure you're aware of how this AI exploit works.
Punches, come forth to a place where your dark horse shine a little brighter. Come forth to Picklebet, the place that pays up to 4th place.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.
Getting back on track, we can now take the key we picked up from behind the dragon to Raya Lucaria in order to make it inside. We go past the mages and marionettes deeper into the school until reaching the rotating elevator, taking it all the way down to the bottom of the cavern where the Iron Virgins are waiting. As you may know already, if you are killed by an Iron Virgin in this location, they will take you all the way back to Volcano Manor, which, in terms of the game map, is a massive teleport. At this point, you could run through the entirety of the area to reach Volcano Manor proper and talk to Lady Tanith to join the Covenant. But even then, you still won't have access to the rest of Mount Gilmere, because the front entrance of the manor is locked from the outside. If you were to proceed the normal way instead, you'd soon realize we aren't even close to beating this ridiculous boss, so as of right now, we're kinda stuck. What we really need is a way to teleport to the exterior of Volcano Manor. That way we could cross the bridge from Mount Gilmere to Altus Plateau without needing to collect the halves of the Dectus Medallion or to beat the Magma Worm at the top of the ruin-strewn precipice. Thankfully, there is a glitch that can accomplish just that. To set it up, all we need is one grace within Volcano Manor, which if we continue forward from the location where the Iron Virgin dropped us off, will be the Subterranean Inquisition Chamber. Now, to teleport to the outside entrance of Volcano Manor from here, we need to trigger a wrong warp. This is a glitch that has been in FromSoft games since Dark Souls 1, and it works by interrupting the loading of a new area so that the coordinates of your currently loaded area gets combined with the coordinates of the new one it's trying to load. The game will recognize this as an out-of-bounds value, and so instead of loading you into a white void, it loads you at the area's default location. This is usually an arbitrary spot like the front entrance of a building or a notable landmark. It just so happens that the default location of Volcano Manor is, you guessed it, the opposite side of the locked door at the entrance. So, how do we interrupt the loading of a new area so that we get the wrong coordinates? It's actually pretty simple in theory. All you have to do is open the map and teleport from a grace in Volcano Manor to a place far away, like, say, the Round Table Hold, then force close the game just as the loading bar hits 100% and before the screen begins to fade to black. On PC, this is a pretty straightforward process. Just wait for the bar to reach the end, then Alt F4. On console, this is a bit more difficult because you need to press the home button and navigate through menus in order to close the game. And on PS5, it's the worst case scenario by far because the quick menu covers up the loading bar, meaning you have to do the glitch completely blind. So let's assume you're in this worst case scenario group. How do you pull off the wrong warp if you can't see what you're timing against? Well, I would love to tell you an exact timing so that you could use something like a stopwatch, but the reality of the situation is that your platform, your patch, the age of your hardware, and even the manufacturer of your storage will all affect your load times. However, finding your specific timing is a lot easier than you might expect. If you fail this glitch, one of two things will happen. Either you'll appear back in Volcano Manor, in which case you force close the game too soon, or you'll appear in the Round Table Hold, in which case you force close the game too late. In either case, you can warp right back to the Subterranean Inquisition Chamber and immediately try the wrong warp again. Because this glitch has no punishment for failure, and your destination afterwards provides immediate feedback onto how to alter your timing for the next attempt, this glitch ends up being surprisingly easy to reproduce on any platform. When you do manage to hit that magical timing and the wrong warp is successful, you won't actually know until you start the game again and suddenly find yourself in a place you have never been before, which in our case means we just unlocked all of Mount Gelmir and Altus Plateau. Make sure to open the door to Volcano Manor now and activate the grace inside, that way we will never need to run up here again. Traveling backwards from Volcano Manor through Mount Gelmir, we will eventually reach the rope bridge that connects to Altus. Now that we're here, we need to stop by the Sainted Hero's grave and kill the Black Knife Assassin that patrols outside for, well, the Black Knife. Believe it or not, this weapon is mandatory for the future of this playthrough. Next we make a quick pit stop for fashion, and now it's time to go to Leyendell. You might think our next target is the Draconic Tree Sentinel who guards the entrance. And don't get me wrong, I love this boss, but even if we beat him, we're still locked out of the city until we collect 2 or more Great Rings. Doing some quick math, let's see, 6. We currently have 0, which means that the game expects us to turn around, go back in the direction we came from, and kill Godric, or Radon, or Renala, or Rykard, and I don't want to do all that. If only we could just skip all these bosses and teleport directly inside the walls of the city, on the opposite side of this barrier.